Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome to episode. I think we said 6. Yeah, it's June, episode 6 of Vods. Hi, Jimsby. Thank you for dropping in. Thank you for lurking. I really appreciate it. As you guys know, I'm Val. We're just here to chat about stuff, hang out, have a good time. Uh, Todd, how are you doing? What do you been up to?
Man, I'm doing good.
Yeah.
It's it's a little hot where I live, so that's kind of been, awful to deal with, but
Oh, I bet.
it's a good excuse to stay in and play games though, right?
Oh my God. Speaking of, what have you been playing? What have you been doing?
Oh, buddy, I just did the platinum on Astrobot.
You played it? I told you,
I
dog.
did.
It's so good.
When I tell you it is legit one of the best 3D platformers I've ever played.
How do you think it ranks up to Mario?
I mean, I think it's better than Mario Odyssey, which I would have said was the best Mario.
Hell yeah. Okay, okay.
I think the level design is just so intuitive and the way
Yeah.
it flows and it's so creative. Like there are so many little one-off levels in Astrobot that just make you smile.
Yeah. No, we played the entirety of Astrobot on stream, and I was constantly surprised by it. Did you so you got platinum, right? So did you
Yeah.
do so you did that final level where you get
Yes.
Master Onion or whatever?
Yeah.
Was that
I did
not the
everything.
best? I
I
think
mean,
I
I
have
don't know
a
that that's what I would call it, but
I think I have a clip somewhere where I did it. I was in the zone. I was focused. At the very end, I get to it and I was like, I did all that shit for an onion? Are you serious?
so I'm sitting there playing it. It's early one morning and it's kind of
Hmm.
hot in my gaming room, because it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
super well ventilated. And I got my PlayStation, my computer going,
yeah.
and I'm sweating on this final level, because there are no checkpoints and
Yeah,
it's
no,
so
you
long.
gotta go all the way through.
And
Yeah.
and when I started keeping up with it, which I had died more than a few times before this, it took me 65 tries to beat it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was cursing, I was stomping around like a little kid. I
Yeah.
was so mad. And by the time I had done that first little section,
Yeah.
60 times, I was just pissed that I had to do it again.
I I think I like 2 or 3 shot it. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, God, you suck. Yeah.
No, I loved it. I thought it was really good. I think didn't they release DLC for harder
Y-
things or something like that?
Yeah, there are 10 additional
Yeah,
challenge
okay.
levels, I think,
Yeah,
and
because I
some
haven't played it since, but
those are hard as balls.
all I
And I
know is if a lot of people slept on Astrobot, and I think they are missing out on one of the best games of this generation, and there's not a lot of them. So
No, I think you're absolutely right. It definitely would have been my game of the year last year
uh-huh.
if I had played it last year. Like it really just it captured my attention
Yeah.
and I love it.
I so last year would have been mine. This year for me still is Clair Obscur, but there's a game I played recently that is very, very close for different reasons. But I'll get into that after you tell me more of what you played.
So the other two things I really kind of dinked around with were I played a little bit more Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give it an honest shot. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
To me the combat is slow and clunky and
Okay.
not fun, and it just doesn't do it for me.
Was it you or someone else was telling me they really liked it? I thought you enjoyed it when you first started playing it, right? Or
So there are parts of it that I really enjoy. I
yeah.
like the open world exploration. I
Hmm.
love the setting, the history. I enjoy that part of it. It's
Yeah.
just when it gets down to brass tacks and you have to play it, I don't enjoy
Oh,
that.
okay. What I would love to see is for that team to do something more in a fantasy setting. Stay in medieval, but I want to see them do an Elder Scrolls type game. You know what I mean?
They
I think
they
they
should
would.
give them Dragon Age
Oh my God. Yeah, we'll
and
talk
say
about
go
that
to
later,
town.
but yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, that that team has done, I mean, it's not my thing because for me, it feels like it's too slow. I haven't played it yet, but I played the first one. And when a lot of people told me it was a lot like the first one, I was like, all right, well, I'm out. Like it was fun, but I had to really force my way through it, you know?
Yeah, so I
Because
played the first one too, and I think it's just a bigger, more fleshed out version of the
yeah,
first one.
yeah. So that alone tells me like, nah, I'm going to skip this one, you know? But like, I don't know.
The
Go
the
ahead.
thing that keeps me coming back to it is I love the main character, Henry.
Oh,
The
Henry's
way he's
cool.
written and acted, and I'm playing a full like speech run.
Yeah.
So you can do all this ridiculous stuff and just talk your way out of it.
Yeah.
And that part is so much fun. It's just the combat kills it for
Okay.
me.
That's fair. That's very fair. Um,
And then the other thing I've been playing is I tried Doom the Dark Ages.
what did you
Did
think
you know
about
it was
that?
on? So I think it's more Doom.
Yeah.
If if you like the last 2 or 3 Doom games, I think you're it's a lot slower,
Yeah.
which I found kind of surprising. It doesn't feel exactly like the previous Doom
Yeah.
because you are more of like a tank
Hmm.
is kind of what it feels like.
Yep. It,
I played it for an hour and was like, okay, I get what it is. Not my thing either, but
I,
it's very well made and beautiful, and the
yeah,
music's kind of
I played through it. I did like, I mean, I beat it and I think I did do 100% of it. I played on like the next to hardest difficulty, uh, went through it, got everything unlocked, beat it about, I think by the time I hit like not the last level, but like 2 or 3 levels before the last level, I was ready to be done. I think it was just a little longer than it needed to be. Um, and I loved playing a game that made you feel like a tank. You know, like I didn't like the last Doom game all that much. I thought the first one was way better. This one I felt like was more in line with the first one. It was just a lot more fun. And I think I
yeah.
mostly played it because I just didn't really have anything else to play at the time. Like I was just like, you know what? It's on Game Pass. I may as well, you know?
Well, that's exactly why I tried it.
Yeah.
If it's free, why not give it a shot?
Yeah.
So
Game Pass, I mean, we say this all the time, but I think Game Pass really is like the best thing to happen to gaming in a long time. And the
it's
best thing for a lot of these publishers too, right?
yeah. I mean, if you're struggling right now but can afford $15 a month or
Mm-hmm.
19, I forget what it went up to the last time.
Yeah.
It's worth it if you want to play a new game every month,
Yeah, absolutely.
especially with game prices continually increasing.
Yeah, no. Oh my God. Yeah. Well, for
It-
me, um, I did a lot of Next Fest demos when they came out, like the Steam Next Fest thing. So I played like Abyssus, which is like a roguelike co-op FPS, but it's like you don't normally get a lot of those roguelikes that are co-op, and now I think a lot of games are starting to embrace them because like how do you evolve the roguelike journey, you know, or genre? You make it multiplayer. Jump Ship is another one I played, which is like a co-op space combat thing. Think Sea of Thieves, but completely PvE. And that's basically what Jump Ship is. Instead of a pirate ship, you're in space.
That's
Um,
intriguing.
yeah, and it has it also has roguelike elements too, where like you pick a mission, and the mission is like, you have to make it to this thing and do this thing. And in order to get there, you have like 3 or 4 different levels to go through, and you kind of like pick your thing, and you're like, hey, I want to go to point A, and in point A, we need to do this objective, and you just kind of build up. And once you get done with the mission, you gain some like some currency to upgrade. You get like permanent ship upgrades, that kind of stuff. But you do want to play it with multiple people because you have like someone flying the ship, you have someone manning the guns, you have someone running around and repairing stuff, and everything is modular. So like you can equip different guns in different places for your ship, and it is fun. It is genuinely fun. Even more so fun, you can like you have like gravity boots on the outside of your ship, So like while someone is fighting and doing like dog fighting and stuff, if there's a fire on the outside of your hull, you have to go out there and like extinguish it with like a fire extinguisher kind of thing.
It's wild.
While they're flying around, it is genuinely really good. Um, Outside of that, I played the absolute hell out of Night Rain, as I said I would. We did that on stream a good bit. I think they have a new challenge monster out right now that I need to fight still, but I got 100% of that done like the week it came out because I'm a masochist. And I've been playing recently FBC Firebreak, the Remedy game, the
Yeah, I
co-op
saw you
Remedy game.
streaming that the other night. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
What do you
fun.
think?
A lot of people are giving it middling reviews. I don't I mean, I get why if you don't have any friends, because that game is not remotely meant to be played solo. You need to play it with a group. If you have 2-3 friends to play it with, it's an absolute blast. I'm having a great time with it with them. There's a it
So
is a little
what is it?
oh, so
Like, what is the gameplay loop?
it is I feel like calling it a Left 4 Dead clone is a little reductive because it's got the Left 4 Dead formula, right? You have to go, so Left 4 Dead is like you pick a chapter and you do mission 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? And each one is a checkpoint. Here, it condenses that into one full mission where you walk into a place and it's like these first level, for example, it's like these fans are overheating. We need you to repair the fans. And so there's 3 classes in the game. One person has like a wrench. They basically fix things that are breaking. Another person has like a shock thing. They give power to things that are failing in power. Another person has like a turbo water gun type deal. And they can, help people stay cool. For example, like the fans overheating, or put out fires that are all around the place. And each one has like a side thing, like the wrench guy it doubles as a melee weapon, and you can use it to like push enemies back and do some crowd control. The lightning guy basically has a rocket jump, like you can hold the button down, point at the ground, and it like leaps you up into the air. So you're really mobile. You can get to higher places quicker or get out of bad situations easily. And then the water person, like they can heal people, or they can like put out people that are on fire, that kind of thing. So it's all of that. And, like I said, first mission, fix the fans. You finish that, you go through like the next checkpoint. And normally, if you're playing Left 4 Dead, that would be the end of a level, right? But here it's more bite-sized, it's more condensed, where it's like, okay, now you do part 2 of the mission, which is like go do, I think it's just fixing more fans or something. And then part 3 is like sometimes it's a boss, other times it's like go do this, like I think for this mission, it's like the furnace needs to be turned off. And so you have to fill up these gas canisters with like this thing, and then put the gas canisters in the furnace and like send them in on a wire. And like some gas canisters are full and you can just take them over there. Other gas canisters aren't. You have to like fill them up. And this entire time you're being assaulted by like what is essentially, the control type zombies, like the hiss. They're always coming at you. There are chances for like a monster to spawn, like one of the control monsters, if you're playing on like a higher difficulty. They have what's called corruption, where you can have did you ever play Control?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember the altered items or whatever they were called, like all the items that were just kind of weird, like the refrigerator that would eat people, like all the SCP stuff.
Yeah.
There are chances, if you're playing with like corruption, for those items to be in the level with you. And so like one is like the stop sign or the stoplight, for example. So like if you are playing and the stoplight is active, the stoplight is constantly floating around the level, and it'll have like a green light, and then it'll have a yellow light, and it has a red light. And if you're moving while it's red light, you'll start taking a shitload of damage.
That is really cool.
And so there's a special way for you to destroy those items. Some of them do low gravity. Some of them make the enemies like really, really fast. Some of them, it's basically just modifiers, right? Like they're glorified modifiers that you can.
So is the game set in the Control universe?
Yes, you play as like random members of the FBC.
Okay.
So it is in the Control universe. You're basically, every mission takes place in the oldest house. You're just trying to put out all the random problems that all these things cause when it happens.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's a $40 game, so you get, I think, what you pay for, in the sense that, like, there's only 5 missions. You can kind of change, like, if you want to do normal, hard, extreme, easy, and you can ramp up the level of corruption you want.
They need to get that on Game Pass, because
It
Control
is.
is like, oh, it is?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
on Game
good.
Pass.
All right.
If
Okay,
you want to
cool.
play it, hit me up. I'm down.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
we'll have to
always down
totally
to
do
play
that.
it. Yeah. I mean, I've been playing it with my friends. We played it on stream once. It'd be great to play with you.
Yeah.
It's a fun. I think it's one of those dumb, fun, mindless games you can just sit back, relax, have a good time with, right? Like, I actually really, really enjoy it. I can understand when, if you play it and you're expecting more, like if you don't know what it is and you just see it's, oh, in the Control universe, and you pick it up and it's not anything Remedy's ever done before, sure. But like, this is a small team within the company. They had like not a whole lot of people working on it. It was never meant to be this big major thing. So I'm like, I'm cool with it. Also, I think by end of year, they said they're going to release 2 new jobs or levels, essentially. It's all going to be free. Like, this is like something fun for them to do, I think. And I am all for developers trying something new, because otherwise we get like 5 different versions of God of War or whatever. And I would rather someone try something like this and it be just kind of okay, if not like pretty good, than everything be like a top tier AAA hit, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, Control is criminally underrated, and the
Oh my God.
fiction's really cool
The
too,
latest
so,
Alan
I mean,
Wake was top tier. I loved it. I need to play through it again, honestly. So,
I can't remember, like, a really bad time with a Remedy game that I ever had.
no. I mean, they've all been good. I would argue that like the latest Max Payne wasn't good, but I don't think Remedy did that. I think that was a Rockstar thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think Rockstar had acquired it by then, yeah.
Yeah. So like anything that Remedy has done themselves, I've loved 100%. It's been good. So, and this game, like I said, I understand some people being like, there's not enough content here, whatever. I do think that it probably would have been a better sale at $30. But if you have Game Pass, there's no reason not to play it. If you don't have friends, then honestly, don't play it, because like, it is meant to be a team game. I can't imagine doing this shit solo, because, you know, I told you those jobs have like different things they do, like different things they specialize at. So for example, if a breaker fuse is blown, the electric guy goes over, he shocks it twice, it's fixed. Anyone else can go over and do it, but you have to play this mini game where you have to hit Q and E, or like a left bumper or right bumper on controller, like in a certain order that's on screen. And doing that for every single thing in the game that's not what your class is sounds miserable. So,
Is there matchmaking?
there is matchmaking, yeah. Like I played it on stream, and then because a lot of people were talking about how bad matchmaking was, I tried it out and I did fine. I think there's only maybe one mission that I failed on normal difficulty at max corruption, and it was largely because there was only 2 of us instead of 3. So,
Okay.
so like it's not bad. I think people are blowing it out of proportion. I also think if people don't want to pay $90 to $100 for games, they need to start, you know,
They need
maybe
to start
being,
buying $40 games.
yeah, they
Showing
need to
people
maybe
that's what
be
they
okay
want.
with some of these games. Like, that's crazy.
So what did
So,
you think about Night Rain?
I loved it. That's another game I think that people kind of gave a lot of shit for, that it was a studio trying something out of their normal wheelhouse. And I think it's fine for what it is. And I had a good time with it, enough to 100% it.
How does it stand in the pantheon of FromSoft stuff, though?
I don't,
Because these people are purists. You know, the ones you're
yeah,
talking about that are bitching about this game.
I don't think you can, I don't know. It is a Souls like, I guess, but it is so incredibly different that I don't even know if I would put it in the same pantheon, in the sense that like, because Souls games are slow, plotting, purposeful, right? Like you're
Yeah.
going from point A to point B. Here, The moment you get dropped in that level, you have to run. You have to move. There is zero downtime at all. I know people that picked it up as their first Souls game because a lot of people were talking about it. I'm like, this is the worst one you could possibly play because you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to learn how a Souls game plays. You're going to constantly be confused because you have to constantly run from point A to point B. There is like a min-maxy way of like doing it depending on what map you get dropped in. And it's just, I don't know. I had a blast with it. I think it's fun, but it also has like a lot of things in it I like. There's never a downtime, so my ADHD isn't killing me. It's got classes in it, so it's basically the hero shooter thing. So it's like a hero Souls like with like a closing ring on it. You know, like it's
Which
fun.
is amazing because Souls is kind of the antithesis of the hero shooter.
Yeah.
So it's so weird that they would blend these two genres together.
Yeah, so like you have, I want to say 8 different characters you can play as. Each one has like a specialization. You have to really know Souls games and how they operate because each character does have like different stats, right? And each character does have like unique weapons that they're better with than other weapons. And so when you go as part of the speed of the game, when you kill something and it drops something, you need to look at that list, know what you want, and get out within like a couple of seconds. Like you have to be fast because like that circle, you have maybe just enough time to get things done that you really want to do. And that's it. Like it's closing. I don't know like an exact timer, but I can't say it's more than like 10 or 15 minutes before it before you're fighting a boss, and you got a fairly sizable world to explore around. Like the moment you spawn in, as it's like dropping you onto the level, most people are already opening the map and plotting a course of where they want to go. It's that like the time is that restrictive.
Okay.
So it's not like a drop in, look at the map, try to like slowly plot around. Like you land, you kill the first camp, you get your first level, and then you run to the next thing. Like there's no exploring, none of that. So also there's a lot of mob skipping. I think that's one of my things I don't like about it is like if you go to a castle, for example, the best thing you can do is run past every single enemy there and get to the top of the castle and kill it as fast as you can, get the loot and run to the next thing. So it's different. That's why I'm like, this is not, it does have Souls combat. You do fight Souls bosses, right? But they're modified in a way that like it's the same boss, but they don't have nearly as much health. So it's really like it's an appetizer. It's a Souls appetizer of like, oh, you remember this boss? Well, let's fight him with like, a little bit less health. And then eventually you get to like the main course of like the actual new bosses that they added to the game. And those are full on boss fights that you fight together. And those are really fun.
So do you think they made this to bring people into the universe, or
I think they made it
was just strictly they were bored?
I think they made it to get money for their next project. Like, not that they need it, but I genuinely think that they did it so that they can probably test the water and see if some sort of live service thing would work.
Mm-hmm.
And there's already signs of it. Like they're already like, I think this week is a modified version of like one of the final bosses. It's like a harder version of it, and you get special rewards if you kill it, And then I think supposedly next week they're going to introduce another one. And I'm like, okay, well, this is a live service game. Like you said, it's not, but you're already doing live service things with it. You're just not charging anyone. So,
So you think they're definitely angling that way, though? That, Night Rain 2 or whatever they end up doing?
I feel like it. I mean, the game that they announced for the Switch 2 is a online PvE, PvP extraction game. So like they're already going that direction, Yeah, like a lot of people when that got announced for the Switch 2, they were like, "Oh my god, it's Bloodborne 2." It's not. It's an online only PvP game. Like it's the same thing, So like,
yeah, it's so weird that they just refuse to give people what they want.
I think Sony owns the rights to Bloodborne. It's part of the reason.
No, I mean, I think you're right too, but I'm sure Sony would, love for them to make
Yeah,
it.
I don't. I wish I could be in a room and figure out what's going on there. I don't know if it's like FromSoft is too busy working on other things, or if the developer themselves are like, I don't want to do it again. Like we're done with it, because that's a thing. A lot of developers are like, we did that, we're done. We don't want to go back. Like,
Yeah, maybe there's not another story to tell.
maybe they don't like working with Sony, man. Like that's a thing. Like you remember Baldur's Gate 3, for example, like Larian very famously said, hey, we hate working with Wizards of the Coast. We're not doing DLC. We're done as soon as this is all over. Like once the final update is out there, we're gonna go do something else because we don't
Yeah,
want to
they have
touch it.
plans for a massive expansion and
Yep.
Baldur's Gate 4.
Yep. So yeah, like there's a lot of that, and I mean, it's just speculation on my part. I can't imagine that they would hate working with Sony, right? But I don't know. I don't know what that whole process was like.
Yeah, but I mean, to your point, if they can make something totally new and get all the money, that's better than making Bloodborne 2 and getting
Yeah,
some of the
and
money.
only getting some of it. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
so
true, and it's another thing where like if they do Bloodborne 2, it's gonna be a PlayStation exclusive in a world where exclusives no longer give enough money. Like you see it everywhere. Every Switch 2 game coming out is just the same game that someone's like, okay, we can just port this over and make a quick, bit of money. Or it's, hey, Final Fantasy is going multi-platform again, or
yeah,
it's a lot of stuff like that, right?
yeah, there is zero benefit to a non first party studio being, console exclusive.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just
100%.
no benefit. Yeah.
So that's kind of how I feel about that. I don't think it's particularly bad that they're doing it. I think probably the studio is doing more of like what they want to do, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's really interesting. I just
Yeah,
thought it was weird.
that they're
Of
not doing
all
it.
the things they could, well, yeah, of all the things that they could make, that they chose to make this amalgamation of, Fortnite and Elden Ring.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
yeah,
But apparently it works. I mean, the game sold like gangbusters.
yeah. It did, and honestly, I had a lot of fun playing it. Like I said, I played with a good friend of mine. It was her first time playing. We ran her through it. She had a blast. I'm looking forward to playing it with her again. Got a few other people that I know that play it. Um, it for whatever reason they took a gamble and ended up working, right? Like they did such a good job with it. Better than I thought, because I even went into it like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna like it because it feels like glorified DLC, right? And they sold it as like its own game.
Hmm.
But having played it, I'm like, you know what? It really is its own thing, and I'm not against them for doing it.
Do you think they could pull off a Destiny level standalone thing that lives on in perpetuity?
Maybe.
Where they just support it with new content?
I think Elden Ring was like their most popular game, right? So
Yeah, yeah, by a mile.
if they wanted, and people love the lore too. So if they
Mhm.
wanted to do like an Elden Ring universe, probably. The thing with FromSoft that a lot of people don't know though is a lot of their games are actually tied together, just like very loosely. Like there's elements of lore that tie to different games, and people don't know if it's like a multiverse kind of situation or if it's like worlds apart. Like there's theories out there, but no one really knows.
Yeah, there are some wild YouTube
Yeah.
videos on this
Yeah.
rabbit hole.
And so a lot of people like when Knight's Reign came out and people are like, "Oh, it has this from this game and this from this game and this from this game." It's like, is this proof that they're all one thing? And I think they've came out and said it's non-canon, but there's also other things in the game that point to it being canon. So,
The mystery is good.
yeah, and
Anything that keeps people talking
yeah.
is normally it's better than the answer.
No, I agree 100%. So, and that's the way they leave a lot of stuff, which is arguably better in my opinion.
Well, that's cool. So, are you ready to move to talking about the next big thing? The
Yeah,
thing
let's go.
is going to take over the entire world of gaming.
Yeah, let's do it.
You won't even need any other games,
Oh,
Val.
yeah.
All you need is Mind's Eye.
It was I haven't watched anything on it because I couldn't be less interested, but I've heard nothing but horrible stories surrounding it.
I mean, there are some amazing Assassin's Creed Unity level videos, bugs,
Oh
and
my god. Yeah, I've seen some of
crashes. And
those. Yeah, I've seen
yeah.
some of those.
I watched several videos of some prominent streamers who were paid to give positive, opinions about the game,
Really.
and you can see them struggling
Ooh.
to say anything nice.
Oh my god. That's terrible. I hate that. I hate the moment I see something is sponsored by certain game, I immediately click off of it. I'm like, I don't care. This You're not going to give me your unique informed opinion on it. You're going to tell me what, you know, they've given you guidelines to tell. I don't want to do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't be negative about it,
What's the
I,
point?
I, I find that very off-putting. Like, if you want to take a sponsored deal as a streamer and they allow you to say what you want to say, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Get that
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
But I would never take a sponsored deal where I couldn't say what I wanted to say.
No, the things that I mean, for the record, I've never taken a sponsored deal at all. Like I've gotten them. I've had people like send me messages and say, "Hey, can you play this game on stream for blah blah blah." I've never had anyone tell me directly what I can and can't say. It's mostly people just want the exposure. But I do know of people that have contracts with certain games that are like, you have to play this game for this much time a week and we'll pay you this much money.
Mm,
Um, Sometimes the sponsorship is, play for this long, try to get this many people to sign up for it, like especially if like a mobile game or something. And they're like, play, do this much. And for every person you get to sign up and play for this amount of time, we'll give you this much money. Um, I've seen a lot of streamers do that. I categorically refuse to do it because for me, it's less about the money and more about the hobby. Like I have a great time streaming, chatting with my people. I have a good time playing games, and for me, it's something I want to uh, explore and enjoy with people, and like talk about the hobby, right?
yeah, I mean, I'm
And
I'm not gonna play something that's not fun.
yes, I'm not going to play
Life is
something
too
that's not
short.
fun, and I'm not going to put something on my channel that I genuinely don't want to play. And while I'm playing a game, like I will outright be like, you know what, guys, this game sucks, or I'm not having fun, or this isn't enjoyable, whatever. If someone reaches out to me and says, "Hey, Val, can you play this on stream? And can you make sure you say this, this, and this?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. Um, I'm not interested. Thank you, though." Or I would rather I am much more um respectful for some of the content creators out there that are like, "Hey, they wanted to sponsor this video, but I told them no and I bought it myself and this is what I think," kind of thing. I watch a lot of Skill Up, for example. He is very prone in his videos to be like, "Yeah, I was told, they wanted to buy my ticket for blah blah blah, but I bought my ticket instead and I went out and this is sponsored by them, but I didn't let them pay for anything. That stuff I'm cool with. But I don't trust the ones that are like, "Oh yeah, this is sponsored by them." It's like, okay, so they're paying. This is an interactive ad, is what you're telling me, and I don't really vibe with that. We already get so many ads that we can't skip a day. Like I'm good. Thank you though.
So let's take this whole mind's eye thing from like a top down
Okay.
perspective.
Yeah, go ahead.
So mind's eye was pitched as a Grand Theft Auto killer. You're going to take on the role of a protagonist who looks exactly like the guy from Mafia 3. I
Yeah.
don't understand why, but he does. And you're going to have this giant open world that you can go do missions, and it's basically GTA in the near. But then on top of that, layered into the game, supposedly there are going to be all these other games built into the overall architecture of
Okay.
Mind's Eye. So you could load into just the racing game, or maybe a Fortnite-esque,
Are they
battle royal.
so it's like a Roblox kind of thing?
Yeah, kinda. Except they all wanted the content to be controlled and catered through Build a Rocket Boy, the studio that,
Okay.
developed the game.
Yeah. Okay.
But they were thinking of it as kinda like a launcher, very similar to the way GTA 5 had,
Yeah.
the online and the
I mean,
single player
Fortnite does
version.
that now where like you can load into Fortnite, you can do battle royale, you can do like a Lego survival thing. You can do a racing game, you can do essentially Harmonix partner with them, so they now have Rock Band in Fortnite, which is just wild. It is a hub at this point, right? And it
And
sounds like they're trying to do.
that's what they wanted. That was the vision.
Yeah, okay.
But the actual single player narrative of Mind's Eye ran so poorly and was so buggy
Mhm.
that the game can't even get any positive traction.
Oh my god.
Reportedly, there's only been between 20 and 25,000 sales of the game,
That's crazy.
which is so low, which is unbelievably low. The Metacritic's hovering between 20 and 30.
20
You know,
and
the
30 is wild for a game that is quote unquote. Look,
this is supposed to be a triple A release.
yeah, when your marketing is we're here to beat X game, I'm like, you're not. You're just trying to use buzzwords and get cheap attention, Like I don't think I quit listening when someone's like, "Oh, this is the X killer," because I've heard so many people say like the World of Warcraft killer or, top whatever top game is killer. And I'm like, "No, if
And
you like make a like be passionate about the game you're making first and then we'll decide if the game is actually good or not, you know?"
yeah, make your game, tell your
Yeah.
story, quit riding coattails. But
Yes.
this game, this studio is ran by a guy named Leslie Benzies, who was a former president of Rockstar Games.
Mhm,
He was a
mhm.
programmer. He worked at Rockstar really during the mega heyday of GTA
Okay.
3 through GTA 5.
Okay.
He's also the guy that, if you read accounts online, was a huge proponent of crunch and,
Oh.
devs not taking time off, and he didn't give devs bonuses. This
So
is a
he's an asshole.
a real grade A C-suite asshole.
Yeah, okay, cool. Good to know.
And he apparently used all of his clout to spin off this other company called Build a Rocket Boy, and then
Okay.
has built, investors out of presumably millions of dollars.
You know,
And delivered a game that just barely will even run. There are some stories from the preview event they did right before the game released
yeah,
that the levels were so overtuned that they had to turn on God mode just to beat them.
that's crazy. Okay,
And this is at a
so
press preview event, days before the game's supposed to release.
so you hear the story a lot of look at this new studio headed by ex leader of this fantastic company and then it does nothing. Like no one can do that because they don't realize that like the magic isn't the people running those studios. 9 times out of 10, the magic is like the people that make them up, like the devs doing like the work.
Yeah, it's the
Or
team.
yeah, it's the team.
Yeah.
And I feel like as an industry now, we're at that point where people need to understand to just applaud the team. Like, I mean, look at Claire Obscure, 30 people. Well, 33, counting, a few or others in the dog. It was definitely more than 33 because they had a lot of outside help. I actually just watched like a hour and a half, 2 hour-ish video about like how it was actually made with like interviews with like the writers and the designers and like the head of the studio and like how it all came together. It's a fantastic video. Um really good, but they go in about like yeah, the actual studio itself is 33 people, but it turns out they had a lot of outside help in the way of like animators that like just basically work their part-time. They're already like at other animation studios, for example, and they would say, hey, can you work for a few hours this week on this? And that's kind of how they got it done, um and I think it's one of and like the guy specifically in that video said he hired people based on how passionate they were about what they were doing. And that's it. Like I don't think this guy was knew what he was doing, truthfully. Like it's one thing to be head of a thing and then go run your own thing, right? Like it's different. You're not going to have the same effectiveness because you're going to be with different people. They're going to have different skill sets. They're going to have different levels of understanding with what they're doing. And it just feels like this team wasn't ready for this. And maybe the team is fine. Maybe this guy's just not good at leading it, you know? But it
Yeah,
doesn't feel like it came together.
I feel like Leslie Benzies is a fraud.
Think so?
Yeah, 100%. You know, I think he rode, the Hauser's coattails at Rockstar.
Yeah, probably.
And built a reputation, and he drove people into the ground.
Yeah.
By all accounts, he's just a number crunching bean counter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has the secret sauce to make great games. I mean, obviously he doesn't because of the way.
You get a lot of those, right? Isn't that like, yeah. I mean, you read the Jason Schreier book and about like all the accounting people that came in and kind of like ruined the industry because they just went for numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tale as old as time, and I mean, we're going to rehash it in the next topic when we talk about Dragon Age again.
Yeah,
it's the same narrative when you start talking about these failed, disappointing games.
It's unfortunate, man.
The only bright side to this is that people didn't waste their money on it.
Yeah,
enough people were able to get negative impressions out there that it stymied really any kind of sales momentum.
The tale, I mean, you can a lot of times see if someone drums up hype for a game. A lot of people, I don't even think knew this game existed. Like there was no advertising for it. Like no one was talking about it. I've heard maybe 2 or 3 things about it. And I look at gaming news daily. So like, if you're a GTA killer and no one is talking about you the week before release, I'm sorry, you're not a GTA killer. Like nothing's going to happen.
No, and I mean, obviously there was no substance to the game because they weren't letting anybody play it.
Yeah.
And if you're a new IP and you're not going to let people play the game, or you're not going to showcase real gameplay, you're not going to build that kind of marketing minimum,
One of the few videos I saw on it was some guy was doing a driving mission where like the drones were shooting at him, and he just drove straight, and he was like, look, these drones are programmed to not hit me. And like they legitimately, like every shot they did was just out of range of his vehicle. He didn't swerve. He didn't try to stop. Like he didn't try to avoid them. It was action movie stuff. It was like watching a Steven Seagal movie, because he doesn't allow himself to get hit. So it's like, it's one of those things where like it's like this is what it is. Like it's all flash and no substance because it's supposed to look cool, but nothing is actually happening. There's no challenge here, and I'm like, there's no
there.
And I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's just, I can just go watch a movie. It's like, nah, they're different experiences. You can't program a game like a movie. You're going to have a really bad game, because that's not the point of a game. Like, yeah, you can have interactive experiences. Yeah. And that's, man, I hate to hear that, because this poor team is probably gone, right? Like they're probably not going to have jobs after this. I don't see how they recover from this, quite honestly.
No, and I mean, I'm sure everybody that's been involved with the project is just embarrassing. Is just embarrassed and ready to go.
Would you put something like this on your resume?
No.
Would you rather have that awkward conversation of what was this 3 to 5 year gap? It's like, I was doing other things.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I would have to put that I was employed by someone.
Like, what do you? What are the Concord? Like, it's this Concord part 2. Like,
I mean, I think this is way worse than Concord.
You think so?
I mean, at least Concord worked.
Concord worked, but it wasn't good. The difference between this
didn't work.
Yeah, the difference between this and Concord, though, is that Sony saw Concord behind closed doors and agreed and believed in it so much they bought exclusive rights to the company.
Yep.
Whereas I think this is just self-published, right? Who published this game? Let me see.
That I don't know.
Yeah, let me see.
Now I will tell you that Sony issued blank refunds for this game, which they never do.
No, oh my God.
So that tells you how bad it is and how ass it actually runs.
Let's see. Mind's
Frankly,
Eye,
it's kind of amazing that it made it through the certification process.
IO Interactive. Okay. Um,
I mean, all they did was publish it, right?
yeah, they were just the publisher. So it's
Yeah.
not self-published, but not like it wasn't like a big, thing, right?
Yeah.
Like IO does like they did Kane and Lynch, Hitman, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, that's tough. Oh, IO's also doing the new Bond. I mean, they all their games have like a feel to them, Like you can usually tell when you're playing an IO game. It doesn't none of their games feel AAA to me. Most of them are like double A at best, you know. Like I remember Kane and Lynch, you remember that game back on the
Yeah.
360
Yeah.
being
It's
like
very terrible.
kind of like and just not good. I
Now,
don't
look, I don't know how much time you spent with the new Hitman trilogy,
mhm.
but I have played each one of them extensively,
Yeah.
and I would argue with you about the double A, triple A part.
Right?
I think they're triple A games for
The
sure.
new ones.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, the newest trilogy. The old ones, yeah, you're right. They're double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
played
James
the new
Bond
ones. They're
trailer looks
okay.
good, by the way.
Well, I'm talking about First Light. Like they're the
Yeah, it
new
looks
double
good.
S. Yeah, oh yeah, it
Mhm.
does. Yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic about it because Bond games, I feel like Bond games are either really good or terrible, and I don't think there's any in between historically.
Now, I will tell you the narrative for the Hitman games
Yeah.
is awful.
Oh,
Like it's
yeah.
laughably bad. So that I'm kind of worried about.
Yeah.
When it comes to like James Bond.
I know they put when they announced First Light, they put Mads in Hitman as like a target. Because he played the casino owner and or he played one of the boss. He wasn't a casino owner.
Yeah, he was the bad guy.
Yeah, he was
Casino Royale.
Yes,
Yeah.
they put his character in Hitman for the agent to go take out.
Yeah, they've done a few of those. You can kill Conor McGregor. You can kill
That's
Sean
cool.
Bean.
I mean, at this point, who hasn't killed
now.
Sean Bean?
Yeah.
It's
There's actually kind of a joke in the game about.
Really? Hell yeah. I
really
love that kind of stuff. That's great. But yeah, the Mind's Eye thing sucks. That's unfortunate. I feel for the devs. Same with Concord stuff. You hate to see that happen, but like, I think people misread the industry and don't actually understand what people want. And right now, people just want a good game. Like people want a good game they don't have to pay $90 for. I don't think that's too hard to ask.
So you want to take a stab at what the total investment was in Mind's Eye?
Please don't tell me it's more than $1 million.
So the total investment that flowed into the studio is believed to be between 400 and 500 million dollars.
Oh my God.
With 200 million being dedicated specifically to the game.
That's ridiculous. Why?
Yeah, it's insane.
Why is that a thing though?
I mean, it kind of makes you wonder how much of that the Benzies guy just pocketed,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
in CEO bonuses, of course.
Do you think he pocketed it?
I mean, I'm sure he paid himself an amazing salary and bonuses.
Yeah, is this going to be a case where it's like, sorry, I'm stepping down, but I'm going to take this great golden parachute and good luck, whoever else stays here, kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely expect the studio to be closed, and
yeah,
this should just be a footnote. And this guy, go live in the Cayman Islands for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I could see that being the thing. As shitty as that is, but like, what else?
No one would be shocked, right?
No, not at all. It's unfortunate.
So you want to talk about the next unfortunate, thing that's hard to believe that we all hate?
Yes, go ahead.
So did you happen to read the Jason Schreier article about the development of Dragon Age: The Veilguard?
I did. That was a hard but incredibly unsurprising read. Do you want to You want to
Yeah, so
summarize it for us and we can talk about it a little bit?
so basically the game just received multiple starts and stops,
Mhm.
and it had a very small window to be finished. You know, so it started in concept as a single player game,
Yep.
a smaller, more focused single player
Yep.
Dragon Age game. And then EA decides, no, not good enough, got to be live service, got to make that GTA online money.
Yep.
That's what we got to have. So the team resist, but they have no choice. They reboot it. There's turnover in studio
Yep.
leadership over that decision. And then after a couple of years of working on that and just no traction, they finally decide to take it back to a single player game, which is why you see the remnants of the characters that are very colorful and
Yeah.
they're I think me and you talked about it when Dragon Age the Veilguard first come out. Like they felt like characters from a hero shooter.
Yeah. That's what they
They
were.
were all really over the top. And
Yeah.
this story validates that that's basically what they were.
That's yeah, you I think the general idea was you play multiplayer, but the characters were already predefined like a hero shooter, right?
Yeah.
And so you pick
Yeah, exactly.
the character archetype you want to play as and you go do the thing. Yeah.
And the story also highlights how internally the team knew the writing was terrible and cringy.
Yep.
They were very worried about that. The
Yeah.
most interesting thing that I had not heard yet was the way the Mass Effect team kind of plays into this. Like they
Okay.
brought them in to help development, and apparently the two different teams work very differently. The article kind of describes, Dragon Age being very loose and free, and just kind of going with the flow. And the Mass Effect team is more like crew of a starship. They're
Yep.
top down leadership, really focused,
Yeah.
got to
Well, I
get
mean,
things
that's the way
done.
I think it feels like, and I could be incredibly wrong with this, but it feels like Mass Effect was always their A team. And that's the one
Yeah.
that I'm not babied is the wrong term, but it feels like that's the one where all the developers or all the higher ups are like very closely watching it, right? And it's like we need these people to run like a well-oiled machine, right? Um, I wonder if that team being involved is where Veilguard got its ending from. I wonder. I want to know. I mean, I'm
So
sure
that
it's
that's
100%, right? But
Well, yeah, I mean that's actually what it says in the article
yeah,
is that the Mass Effect team came in and crafted an entirely new ending
yep.
and did not talk to the Dragon Age leads about it.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah, because
remember. I don't remember hearing that.
they apparently they didn't feel the ending, had enough heft to it. They wanted it to be more Mass Effecty.
No,
And
well, it did it. It
well,
was
that was another thing I think me and you talked about kind of review of Veil. The last mission felt very Mass Effecty.
yeah, it was 100%. It was literally
Y-
the Mass Effect ending, like
Yeah, it
100%.
reminded me of the second game. You're
Yeah.
going on this mission and people are gonna die, and
I felt that it was so much like the second game that it was almost a detriment where if you had played Mass Effect 2, it felt like a instance of them saying, I have no idea what else to put here to make this better. Let's just do again what we know works. And they didn't change anything. Nothing was different. It honestly, if you told me they copied and pasted it, I would have believed you. Like
that's what it felt like.
yeah, like I understand where people are like the ending is better. If you never played Mass Effect, you probably would love that ending. But if you had, like, I feel like it kind of ruined it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for anybody like me and you that played the original Mass Effect trilogy
Yeah.
and specifically really loved Mass Effect 2,
Yeah.
you could just see all the tales coming. Like, I was like, Jesus, did they just copy and paste the original design doc?
It was to the point that like I mean it was the exact same thing. You got to do
Yeah,
all
the
your character
flow of
missions.
the flow of the final level is basically the
Yeah,
same too.
it is. Yeah, it was just man.
And look, it works in Mass Effect because the writing is top notch and you
Yeah.
care about the universe and the characters.
In the characters, yeah. Like there are like there was a character that was like at the very end of the of Veilguard that like you have to pick between them and like someone else. I'm like, let's just let her die. I don't care. She sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my choice was between two characters I hated equally, and I was kind of like,
Yeah.
man, I wish they would just both kick it.
Yeah, it's like I don't care because like most of these characters are insufferable. I think there's like maybe two characters I actually genuinely enjoyed. Uh Obviously I think everyone's pick is like the necromancer guy. He's cool as shit. And
Yeah, he's
then
funny. His
yeah,
story
he
too.
was the only character I genuinely enjoyed, like that I didn't just kind of okay like. I was like, okay, I like him. He's cool. I kept him in my group. And then I think the guy with the griffin was really cool. Those are like the two characters I actually like. The rest I just don't care for.
You know, those two that you talk about, I really enjoyed, and they felt the most at home in the Dragon
Yeah.
fiction.
They felt like
You know,
characters. I don't know who
yeah, they
wrote them.
felt
I don't know what team had a hand in them, but they deserve an award
and
because like this is the
they
only
felt
part of
like
the game that was enjoyable.
they belonged.
Yeah.
And you know, the tenor of their individual stories fit with the original Dragon Age games.
Yep.
You know, it was I don't know. For everything that you can talk about Veilguard negatively, to me it all comes down to the characters and the
Oh, for
writing.
sure. Yeah.
You just didn't care about them.
No, I think if you're going to make an RPG like that, if your characters are bad, then you can't even start the game. Like if you can't get behind what a character is doing, then why bother? You know, like what's the point?
You know, the saddest thing about the development of this game really is that the developers knew all of this.
Yeah,
You know that they knew it was bad. They just didn't have time. You know, the article said they had about 18 months to
to
turn it
fix it.
around. Yeah, after it
This
stopped being a multiplayer game.
this seems to be a plague with this franchise specifically. Like I think the first one was made, if I remember correctly, it was something to do with like them being unable to like do something else, so they just kind of made the first one. I think it was initially supposed to be like a Baldur's Gate or something like that, and they just kind of like revamped it into Dragon Age. Or
Yeah, that's exactly right. They thought they had the rights to Baldur's Gate.
yeah, and so they made it its own thing, and then Dragon Age 2, I want to say it was Mass Effect 2 or one of the Mass Effect games got pushed back, and EA really needed something to come out right then. And so they gave them like a year to make Dragon Age 2. And it is still my least favorite one. I hate that fucking game. And because people got really mad at the developer for, how like linear and just not fun and how regurgitated the content was in Dragon Age, which in their defense, they didn't like it's not like it was their fault. Again, they were given like a year, maybe same 18 months to develop an entire game from scratch. Like they had to make shortcuts, right? The fact that it even exists to me is a miracle, but I don't think it's a good game by any stretch of the imagination. And
I think it has the bones of something that could have been amazing.
yeah, but if it was given
I
time, if it
think the
was given
story's
time,
fine. I think
yeah,
the
the story was
characters in the
okay.
game are amazing.
But so that game came out, people got mad that like it was basically one dungeon the entire game.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
and then you had the third one come out that was like so bloated, and apparently the lead runner of the game series, I forget his name, I think he quit and went and did his own thing.
Yeah, Mark Laidlow.
Yeah, he got so mad at the criticism that he decided to put as much as he could in Dragon Age 3, and it's like that's not, you made it worse, you know that, right? Like you didn't help it. I hate Dragon Age 3 for the opposite reason. It's like in 2 there was nothing to do. I was doing the same thing over and over. And in 3, I felt like I was going to the grocery store every time I walked into the world and just checking off lists of things that I don't really want to do.
Yeah, so I love the Dragon Age universe and the lore.
The universe and lore is great. And
I think
honestly,
it's spectacular.
even in Veilguard, like there were still parts of it that I thought were pretty interesting as far as like some of the revelations. They do rewrite some of it, but it's honestly, fuck it. Like half the series is garbage at this point. So whatever. But the world itself is still cool.
And I mean, I will kind of stand up for Dragon Age 2. I like it a lot more than you do. I understand its failings, and I get it. And if you try to go back and play it now, it absolutely doesn't hold up.
Yeah, no.
But I think the story and the characters are worth it, to
Okay.
see where the universe goes. For Dragon Age 3, like I have a real love-hate relationship with it because I hate the bloat
Yeah.
and I hate the gear grind and trying to, make you
Yeah.
think that stuff really sucks.
Yeah. No,
But
I get
again,
it.
I think the story is interesting, the larger story.
Yeah.
The main villain of the 3rd game is terrible, Corypheus.
Yeah,
It's just
the
a
I didn't care
generic
about the
random.
villain. You know
Yeah.
what it was? Like every main story mission I enjoyed. Especially there was one where you had to go to like a manor or something like that. I thought that mission
Yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah.
Um, it was everything in between. If I could replay the game, and I know I can with like PC mods, I just don't care. But if they had from the beginning let me do those missions whenever I want to instead of making me do like X amount of side quests, like just redundant ass terrible
Yeah.
side missions, I think the game would have been much better because everything else around it was pretty okay. It was just the world sucked.
Yeah, I think they really wanted it to, be like a test drive for an MMO.
Probably.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it was well, very obviously like they took a lot of stuff from WoW, because
Yeah,
I mean everything
100%.
was like a WoW quest essentially. It was not great. I hated it.
Yeah, go get 10 deer skins. It was
Do
that
you
over and
think
over.
I think the general talk is that companies are now finally starting to move away from live service. And with, for example, marathon being pushed back, do you think a lot of companies are starting to realize that like maybe live service isn't the way to go? Because you look at like Helldivers selling gangbusters, and in other games like Helldivers, just like Repo is another indie title that's just been selling constantly, and it's like the big game people are streaming, stuff like that. Do you think other companies are seeing this and seeing the success and being like, maybe we should do that? You obviously like Clear Obscure, like I think blew them all away. But I feel like AAA gaming is looking at like how much these games are failing because a lot of them are, and are realizing that maybe we should stop spending money on this live service stuff.
So I would almost agree with you, but I
Hmm.
wanna ask you a question.
Okay.
How much of Sony's video game revenue do you think is attributed to live service titles? Because I saw a very interesting statistic.
Hmm. Tell me. I'm curious.
50
50%.
from basically 8 games.
Okay.
From the sports games that have become live service
Yeah.
games, and from these other bigger, live service games and, like Modern Warfare and all that
Yeah.
stuff, all the Call of Duty stuff. But it's 50% of their revenue. The fact is when you have one that hits, people spend money in
It
it.
pays dividends. That makes sense.
And
So you think
and it's
it's
it's kinda like I honestly, I kinda think it's like, where my mom and dad live, right behind their house, there's a
yeah.
trailer park, and it's just filled with, like, poor people, right?
Hmm.
But those people buy lottery tickets. Like, I know that because 'cause I've talked to some of them,
Yeah.
and there's almost no chance they're gonna win the lottery. But what if they do, right?
That's fair.
And it's the same thing with these live service games. Everyone you put out is like a free ticket, and maybe it will blow up. I mean, nobody thought Destiny was gonna be a franchise that would last, 10, 12
Yeah,
years.
that's fair. And it has done well. What kills me with Destiny though is that the company looked at that and said, "We have a dedicated fan base. Let's make an extraction shooter." I will never ever understand that one bit because I don't extraction shooters are so niche, but I am almost afraid that that is where gaming is starting to go. I think that's the next live service craze is everyone's going to try to make an extraction shooter.
I think something like Marathon would have been a perfect addition to Destiny 3.
Yeah.
Make the game that your customer base want,
Yep.
but add that mode into it.
Yep.
And
I
so what if that's all people play? It's still a success.
So I've been
You know what?
playing. My little brother and I have been hanging out, right? And he convinced me to pick up Dune Awakening. I don't like Dune. I don't like deserts. But I've genuinely started to kind of enjoy playing this a little bit. And from my understanding, the final zone that you can go to in that game is essentially an extraction shooter. There are resources that are only in like the quote unquote open desert area or the deep
Mhm.
desert, I think it's called. And it's a full PvP zone. You go in, you get the materials you need, you get out. And everywhere else except for like very clearly marked areas are PvE only. So I think that would have been fantastic for Destiny 3, for example.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, you want to upgrade your armor to this next point? You have to go into the PvP zone and get these things and then get out. I think that would have been fantastic. And I think
I
that's
mean, it worked
something
in
that,
Division.
yeah, it really
You know,
did.
the dark zone in the Division was the most interesting part about
Yeah.
the game.
I really think that like if you want an extraction shooter, you need to build another game around it because the type of people that are pulled to like very specifically like just extraction shooters are it's not enough to keep a game running.
No,
Not a AAA title at least. It's not going to happen.
no, if it's gonna be like a standalone release, it's gotta be free to play.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Especially when you do like Bungie did and steal all kind of artwork, from artists and don't pay
Yeah.
them,
Yeah,
for
that's
Marathon.
rough.
So,
Um
there's
it
a whole lot of reasons not to support Marathon.
no, and so it got delayed. Do
Yep.
you think it's going to get canceled? Because they,
No, I think they've sunk too much money
you
into
think
it.
they're just
I
going to
think,
release it and hope for the best?
yeah, I mean, I think if they're smart, they'll bring it back as a free to play title
Yeah.
and just stick it out there. And, if
I
people
feel like
play it,
that was
great.
Concord's worst thing. Like, how are you going to release this game that, like, very clearly isn't testing well and then make people still pay to play it? Like, you can't do that, man. Like, for a lot of those games, if you want people to hop on the bandwagon, you need to make it to where that bandwagon is easily accessible.
And, when it comes to a game like Marathon, it's either going to be your jam or it's not.
Yeah.
And people who don't know are not gonna take an $80 roll of the dice or
Yep.
for whatever it costs. But if it's free to play, people are gonna download it. They're gonna try it.
That's true. I did. So I'm not a big extraction shooter fan, but again, little brother convinced me to try out one of the ones coming out called Arc Raiders, and it has like a lot of PVE elements in it too. And surprisingly, I actually had a pretty good time with it. Like I genuinely enjoyed it, and I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
I've heard good things about that one for
yeah.
sure.
And then I saw the numbers, and so many more people were playing Arc Raiders than Marathon. And I'm like, that's bad. Like that's really telling if Bungie, like one of the most hardcore fan bases and people like their fan base is playing a different game, you know?
Well, I mean, like you could look at the Steam concurrence for Marathon and it was like less than 2,000,
Yeah.
like during the height of the alpha.
Yeah.
Like
That's
there
rough.
should be people playing the game,
Yeah.
but it's
No,
just
they're not.
it's uninteresting.
No, it's
Like when
not.
you look at the game, it looks like you topped out. Give me an edgy cyberpunk extraction shooter, in Chat GPT, and this is what it popped out.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I just don't vibe with like the art design of Marathon.
Yeah,
If they had kept it even remotely close to the way it used to be, I think it would be a lot better. But like, it just wasn't. It's not this. It doesn't even feel like it's the same like game. It doesn't feel like it's the same universe.
now I think that's the other big problem is most people have no connection to the Marathon IP,
Yeah, and the people that
and
do are like playing it and are like, "This is not Marathon. Like,
yeah,
what are
they're
we
like,
doing here?"
what the hell? This has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and so
It's all, I don't know. It's weird.
it's one of those things where like if they had named it literally anything else, I think it would have been fine. Like Final Fantasy 16, couldn't stand it. Felt like if they had named it like a different game, it would have been at least okay. But like as a Final Fantasy 16, like as a Final Fantasy game, didn't feel good, you know?
And I mean, you look at like me personally, like I'm the target audience for Marathon.
Yeah.
You know, I played all the Bungie Halo games,
Yep.
loved them. I put thousands of hours into Destiny 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Thousands. Like, you know, this is not an overestimate. This is legit.
Yep.
And even I was like, no, I'll pass on Mary. If
Yeah.
you're
Do
not
you
pulling me in, then something's bad wrong.
do you play extraction shooters? Is that your thing?
No, I mean, I will. You know, like I'm
If
not opposed to it,
if it's a
but
thing that you enjoy, like you're
yeah,
happy
like you
to.
know, like I brought up the Division earlier. You know, I played
Yeah.
the Division a lot when it come
Yeah.
out, and I enjoyed the extraction part of it.
Okay.
And I thought that was
If they
cool and
did like
interesting.
a ODST extraction shooter, you'd play it.
I would try it maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, like if they had added this marathon mode into Destiny 2, maybe I, you know,
Yeah.
downloaded it back onto my
Yeah.
console and gave it a shot.
Okay. That makes sense.
You know, I'm not opposed to it. It didn't look good. It looked
No.
half-assed and underbaked, and you know, at this point in this console generation, which I mean, we're going to talk about, I'm tired of paying full price for underbaked, half-assed things that might be good later.
Yeah. That's kind of the. It's kind of where we're at right
Yeah.
now in like gaming is like unless it's an indie title, and even if it's an indie title, in the case of like No Man's Sky, like you never really know what you're getting. And I honestly think it's almost like a lot of people's confidence in these big name publishers is just dead or dying, and I think a lot of people are just getting really tired of it.
No, I agree completely.
And the problem is like you see like this huge loss of morale across the board, like hitting so many gamers. And then they have the audacity to say, hey, pay us more money for these things that we're giving you that like aren't finished.
All right, so that's the perfect segue. Let's roll into the next topic because
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've beat, you know, Dragon Age like a dead horse at this point.
Constantly. Yeah.
So we're gonna try something new with the next to last topic of the show. I wanted to do a question of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where we talk about something that's bigger picture. So the question I thought of this week because of the last two stories
Mm-hmm.
is this the most disappointing console generation ever? Not worst. You know, I want to frame it like that.
Okay.
Is it the most disappointing? Because last week or last month when we talked about Expedition 33,
Yeah.
you know, I made you a giant list of 2011
Yeah.
that were all like Hall of Fame level games.
Yeah.
And I asked you if, you know, if that had come out then, would people still remember?
Yeah.
I feel like that year, just 1 year, is better than everything we've gotten this entire generation.
Yeah. I mean, I forget why I looked it back, but I looked at games that came out um during like I think it was like I was talking about the Gears of War, and I looked at games that came out that time. It's just a laundry list of fantastic titles. So
And it is exponential output.
yeah, constant.
All
Yeah.
three Mass Effect games came out on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
You know, like you look at like what New Vegas, Skyrim, Fallout 3,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're all on that same, you know, basic console generation. So what do you look at this generation right now and say, God, this is the most disappointing? Because I can tell you that's 100% worse.
I think so. I think gaming, I think AAA gaming has gotten so bloated, and it is so, I think the only word I can really use is infested with a lot of these people that don't really have gaming or the developers or like the industry's best at their like it's they don't really care about it. They're just here to like suck it dry and then move on. Like you already
Yeah.
see news stories about a lot of these people that were getting in gaming. A lot of people have talked about how it's hard to find publishers now because now no one wants to publish games anymore because they realize the market is either dead or dying, and they are moving on to, say, AI stuff now. Like that's the new big thing where a bunch of investors are hopping in. And quite honestly, good riddance. Like I would rather they go and we have smaller, better titles like we did back on the 360. If the next generation is literally just like, let's take a step back from graphics and let's like just pump out these smaller like double A titles, I would be okay with it, honestly. Like I'd have a fucking blast. If you're telling me that the next generation is like, let's just make a bunch of things like Helldivers, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at just the list of disappointments from this generation,
Mm-hmm.
that I just the quick list that I made, Starfield, Veilguard. I don't know if you've been following Monster Hunter Wilds, but it's lost 95% of its player count
Yep.
because it runs like trash and there's no content.
Monster Hunter is always a game like that, though. Part of the reason why Monster Hunter has had longevity is because they made it a massive grind fest to get all the stuff you wanted. But they put so much quality of life in this game that it is no longer a grind fest. Like I got all the stuff I needed for my set the first week I played, and I
Yeah,
haven't touched it since.
it's not the game that the core fan base wants,
No,
right?
it's
So,
not.
I mean, I
No,
think it's the very definition of a disappointment.
that's fair.
Um,
Yeah.
Suicide Squad,
Oh,
Redfall,
yeah.
Gotham Knights, Battlefield 2042 was a disaster.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws, hell, we just talked about Marathon
Yeah.
15 minutes and it hadn't even come out yet.
Yeah. No, that you're right. Like there's just been nothing but disaster after disaster and disappointment after disappointment. And I mean, Microsoft and Sony are already talking about the next generation, and it feels like absolutely nothing has happened this generation. Like don't get me wrong, there's been like a handful of titles, right? Like I enjoyed God of War, I enjoyed Clear Obscure. Honestly the only Spider-Man. Those are like the few that really come to mind that I'm like, these definitely
Astrobot.
Astrobot. These are the ones that come to mind that like really hit this generation. But if you're talking like a generational thing of like 6 to 8 years, give or take, that's bad. That's really, really poor when like the last generation did what it did.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I put in our show notes, one of the bubbles in this topic was there's just been no major innovation.
Mm-mm.
It's all re-releases and rehashes of other ideas.
Yeah. No, you're
Like the best thing that Bethesda's done this generation is re-release a 20-year-old game.
like, yeah, look at 2007, for example. 2007 had BioShock, Halo
Yeah,
3.
that's a banger of a year.
Yeah. BioShock, Halo 3, Mario Galaxy, Portal, God of War 2, the original Modern Warfare, Uncharted, Mass Effect, Crisis, Team Fortress 2, The Witcher, oh my God, Rock Band, Spider-Man 3, Stranglehold was weirdly fun, Metroid Prime 3, Lost Odyssey. Like I'm just kind of scrolling through this list. Like,
I mean, it's just a who's who of, heavy hitters.
yeah,
Like all-time games. Like there's almost nothing like that this generation.
yeah. I just,
Like I think the biggest game from this generation is probably Red Dead 2, right?
yeah.
So and I did that actually come out on the previous generation too? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Okay. So if we look at like just the biggest games that we would say are this generation's game, it's probably Red Dead 2,
Oh no, it did
Cyberpunk.
come out on the Xbox One. It was PS4,
Okay.
Xbox One. Yeah, so it
So
doesn't even count.
yeah, so it doesn't even count then.
Yeah,
What about Cyberpunk? Like that's
it came out.
after it got fixed, right?
Yeah, it came out on other consoles, but it shouldn't have at all.
Yeah.
Like it was not ever gonna run on those consoles.
So maybe Cyberpunk is the game of the generation. Maybe I would probably vote Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate probably is the game of the generation. I think that is the one that people still talk about today. They still do playthroughs of it. I mean, it's only been a few years, but like people still love it. It put Larian on the map. They did a lot for developers in that game and the way they spoke about it. I would say, even though there are games that I absolutely love, maybe even Clair Obscur, because I'm genuinely curious to see how that game's success shapes the way companies work going forward, or how things happen. The thing with Clair Obscur, though, I feel like you see like Square Enix chasing that dragon of Final Fantasy VII, where they're like, we had lightning in a bottle and we've been trying to recreate it ever since, and we can't, kind of thing.
It's just really been downhill ever
Yeah,
since
and
then.
I really hope, because you watch all these videos about Clair Obscur, I really hope that's not the case for these developers, because all of these people never worked in the industry outside of like a handful of them that were at Ubisoft. The writer was on Reddit. I think, if I remember correctly, in this video, she was actually hired as a voice actor, and she, since she was a native English speaker, she was like, hey, can I help you like shore up some of this dialogue, because some of it's kind of rough, and I can help you rewrite it a little bit. And she did such a good job, she became lead writer and like helped them with like a lot of stuff. And then you see like the composer was a guy they found on SoundCloud, right? And in fact, that writer they found on Reddit because they looked for they just reached out and were like, hey, we need some people to do some free voice acting. Like, that was it. Like, that's how they found her. So it feels like a lightning in the bottle situation where all of these passionate people got together to make a thing. And I think right now in the industry, that's the thing I am more closely watching than anything else, because I want to see what happens next. I want to see if it like, was it a perfect storm, or do these people like, are these like genuine, like, I mean, obviously they're talented, but like, can they do it again?
Yeah. How are they going to handle the blank check
Because
that they're going to get?
because people are talking about, oh, they added parries to RPGs. Oh my God, it's so innovative. It's not. They did that shit on the Super Nintendo.
I was going to say that's Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, that's Mario RPG. That's been a thing. But for whatever reason, because it's Nintendo, they just never ever did it again in a way that like made it interesting.
Yeah, I hope they avoid now we're gonna go, like a third person big open world game.
Yeah.
Kind of trope.
No, with a team that size, I think staying lean and making it so that you can do like quick little things. Because I think the game has been in development for like 4 or 5 years, give or take. I want to say they really started working on it in 2020-ish. Which is still a long time, but it's a longer than I would like for it to be. But that's a lot of the groundwork. If they're working in Unreal 5, they could probably, now that they have like the bones, they could probably, because that's always the hardest thing to do, right? Like, that's what takes the most time, is to build it from the ground up. Once you have it built, you can iterate on things. In fact, I think the only studio right now that's actually doing it well is FromSoft, because a lot of the times they are just reusing assets from other games. Night Rain is 100% like a massive asset flip outside of the characters you play as and the final bosses. Everything else in that game is something that already existed in another game of theirs.
But I mean, that's really smart.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an investment tactic, to save money and time.
And a lot of people like get mad about that, but I think, not to put it back on gamers, but I also think we need to be willing to accept that like some of this shit just takes way too much time. And so like, do you want to wait 8 years every single time for a new fantastic game? Or do you want to be like, hey, let's just refight this thing? Like, it doesn't really matter, and give them a chance to give us something new, like something more. As long as they're not charging me $100 for that, I'm okay with it, honestly.
I don't need ray tracing.
No.
I don't care about ray tracing.
I think most people turn that shit off anyway.
I've played 1,000 games without ray tracing that were amazing
Yep.
and never thought about it once.
Same.
So, I really think they're pouring their resources into the things now.
No, I think they are too, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of sat back and I was just like, this generation, I don't know that I've ever been this disappointed.
It's not a good look.
Maybe
It's not great by any
no,
means.
maybe Xbox 360 to Xbox One, that whole transition was such a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I think we were sold like a false bill of goods.
Yep.
Everyone was saying, "Hey, we're going to get 60 frames a second, 1080p, like everything's going to look good, everything's going to run good."
Yep.
And none of it does.
No, it's bad.
Yeah.
I to the point that I don't know if I'm gonna buy a next gen console. Like I never thought I would ever not buy a console, but I haven't bought a Switch 2. I have no intentions of buying a Switch 2. I don't think, at least depending on what I'm seeing right now, I don't see a reason to buy the next console. If they put the next Final Fantasy game out for PC day one, which very well could happen, I'm not getting one.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would make me pause is how much money I've invested in the PlayStation ecosystem
Mhm.
specifically. Like I don't know that I'll go back and play all these games that I've bought and downloaded, but maybe I would.
Yeah.
Who knows? I will probably buy a PlayStation 6 because I've been happy with my PlayStation,
Yeah.
and the console exclusives have been phenomenal
The console
this
exclusives are
generation.
good, but I feel like we're getting into the Nintendo territory where we get one every
It's
couple
the
of
same.
years. And
It's the same shit. You
yeah,
know, it
yeah.
is.
And so I'm like, I would love to play them, but now even Sony is like, if we wait a year and put it on PC, we can get our money back. We can get more money. And I'm like, maybe at this point, what is waiting another year if I've already waited 5?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not just dying to find out what happens in Horizon Zero 3,
Yeah,
I think
I'm
you'll be
not.
fine.
I play
I
I
think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't care for 2, quite honestly. Like I was already not a big fan of 1, and I think 2 alienated me even that much more. Like I
I
just
really liked 1. I thought the narrative was pretty
yeah.
interesting. I didn't enjoy 2, so
2 man, 2 was weird. I didn't like
it's
the
super
way
weird.
they did the combat. I didn't like
Yeah.
yeah, there's just something about it. Like when I was finally able to fly on that thing, I thought it was really cool.
But you don't get that till like the very
The
end of the game.
very end,
It's
yeah,
so stupid.
it is.
But I mean, like I'm the most excited about, the Spider-Man 3, the Wolverine game that's
If
going to
we
come
ever
out.
see it, like, so
Well, I
speaking
mean,
of, like,
Spider-Man 1 and 2 have sold so well. I
they
don't
did, but I like that
know.
Wolverine game. It was nowhere to be seen at Summerfest. Like, not a single peep. Like, honestly, I think this Summerfest was the worst one I have ever seen. And I'm
Oh,
talking
I
about
would
like E3
100%
and
agree with
everything.
that.
Like, there was nothing there.
Microsoft was a complete no-show. They didn't even show the next Starfield expansion,
Yeah,
which makes
no.
me kind of wonder, are they just putting that down? Like, is that done?
Yeah, I don't know. Like Microsoft, I think Microsoft definitely did better than like Sony. Like Sony, I feel like absolutely had nothing to show. At
But
least with
dude,
Microsoft, I had a handful of things I was interested in. Like I can't wait to shit myself in Grounded 2. When a spider attacks me
yeah,
out of nowhere, that's going to be fantastic.
that
But
will be. It'll be fun. But
is it a must play?
how
No.
how in the hell is there not an Elder Scrolls 6 trailer?
I don't know.
How did they not have a new Gears trailer?
I
Like
don't
we know they're
yeah.
making E-Day. What's
Yeah.
going on with that? How in the world do they not have that?
It's not I
Like
don't know.
their console is dying on a vine. Like, honestly, I think they might be better off not even making a box in the next
Yeah,
generation.
I feel like everyone is. Honestly, I think both companies are writing off this console generation as a failure,
Yeah.
and I feel like we're already getting to the point that they are ready to just push everything that they have coming out on the new consoles and try to force people to buy those. If I
Well, I
were
mean, they
running a business and I had other things to keep me afloat, like Microsoft has Game Pass and other games being on it, Sony has their electronics division, even though it's not as good as it used to be. They're still making money from it. Plus, they're always going to have people in the PlayStation ecosystem. I would bank on putting all my first party titles on the next console and just call this one a wash. As shitty as it is for the rest of us, but that's what I would do.
yeah, I mean, maybe they'll run good. You know,
I hope so.
I mean, I am 100% positive Sony would love to sell us $1,000
Yeah.
PlayStation 6.
Yeah, of course they would.
And I think people are really underselling how, you know, with the tariff situation, with inflation,
Yep.
you know, maybe it'll only be $700, but I don't
We'll
know.
see. Man, with things going the way they are now, there's no telling if we're going to even be here that long. So,
Yeah, that's true.
so
They're
we'll
definitely
see.
not going to be $500.
No,
You know,
they're going to be expensive. If the Switch is $500, you best believe those new consoles. I would
Yeah.
be surprised if they're under $700.
I would too. You know, I would bet $699, but
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if they were $1,000.
I'm calling it now. I think you're right with the $699 thing, but I think if you want like the complete special edition, whatever, it's going to be $800.
Yeah. Which, I mean, people will pay. I mean, you know, look at like the Switch 2. I mean, people basically spent $700 to play Mario Kart.
Yep.
You know, by the time they bought accessories and, you know, all the other junk.
Yeah. I'm already seeing stores with them just out in the open. Like, I know they sold gangbusters for whatever reason. Like, they actually sold really well. But I'm also already seeing stores with them just on the shelf.
See, there are none here
Really?
in northern Alabama. Yeah,
Okay.
no.
No, there's a few Targets here that have them just sitting out.
And I mean, you can still get on like the Facebook Marketplace app, you know, locally,
Yeah.
and people are trying to sell them for $1,000.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
It's just grifters. Don't give them money. Just wait. It'll be.
Yeah, I mean, you're not missing anything.
No, there's one game. I think Donkey Kong comes out next month.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, not even worth it at that point.
And I mean, you can just play it then. It'll be, you know, you can play it at Christmas. It'll be fine.
Yeah, if they don't have any, maybe if they have something out by like next year ish, maybe I'll consider it depending on what's out. But like right now, I don't have a point, a reason, no desire whatsoever.
No new Zelda, no new Mario.
And honestly, if the Zelda comes out and it's even remotely like Breath of the Wild, I'm not touching it. I'm done. I'm sorry. I can't do it again.
I think you're going to be really disappointed because those games have sold just an insane
I'm going to
amount.
be, but you know what? I'm going to play every other Zelda clone out there and have a great time.
Now, I don't understand why they won't make a 2D, you know, Link to the Past sequel.
Yep.
And just do it.
The game they came out with where you play as Princess Zelda, I had so much more fun playing that at 10 frames per second than I did any Breath of the Wild.
10 frames per second.
Dude, some of those places, like once you in some of those little screens, it was like playing a slideshow. It's like I am playing PowerPoint right now. This is fantastic. So
it's so pathetic.
Oh my god, it's bad.
We all just keep buying it, you know,
I
and
know.
keep doing it.
We're all part of the problem at that point. We know it's going to run like shit, but it's like, what else do we have? You know.
But you know, I think you and we both kind of took a stand against the Switch too, and we're like, we're just not giving them our money.
No, absolutely not. I'm not doing it. I refuse.
Yeah.
They can't pay me. They can't give me one, honestly.
You know, I might get one later.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a library that justifies it, but there's nothing that I'm dying to play or that feels necessary. You know?
Absolutely not.
So yeah, this console generation sucks.
It's not great. I really hope we get some good news between now and then, because it really does feel like this whole like first half of the year so far has been nothing but disappointment after disappointment. There's been some good stuff, don't get me wrong, but it feels like in the gaming industry we've had nothing but bad news. And I don't like that. I want to support the industry. I want the industry to thrive. I want it to grow. But I feel like it's a bubble that like was at its heyday in the 360, like the PS2 360 era. PS3, like those were like the golden years. And I
Yeah.
think that bubble, like people saw how big it was growing. They hopped in, they mined the absolute fuck out of it. They just ripped out its
Ruined it.
soul, and now they're all getting out. And I don't
Yeah,
necessarily think that it means that the gaming industry is dead, because there's still very, very passionate people, developers out there that love making games. They love playing games. They want to do great things. I think we just need to support them more than we need to support like all these bad actors and these people that are very clearly just taking advantage of people.
yeah, we need to stop buying Assassin's Creed and we need to start buying Clair Obscur.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's really the long and short
I
of it.
don't know. So like they won't say what Clair Obscur's budget was. I've heard it was like crumbs. I've heard it was not very much at all. And they, in that video that I watched, it was a skill up video. He did like an hour and a half, 2 hour video on it. I can send it to you. I think you will find it very interesting. He talked about like how if he was at a major publisher, because of all the red tape and all the stuff he had to go through, it would have taken this game 10 to 20 years to get made.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like he was like, if we tried to do this at a major publisher, it would either never get done or it would take multiple generations to do because of all the stuff we have to go through.
Yeah, I mean, I think 99% of the publishers would have been out at turn-based.
Yeah.
They'd just been like, "Nah, that's old. Nobody cares about that."
Maybe one of the topics we can do for next show is, we can both watch that again, because I need to rewatch it because I was cleaning my apartment while I was listening to it. And just maybe do a talk on it, like a deep dive, and discuss it in the industry. And I think that would be a really good one. But
Cool.
it blows my mind how we let the industry get here. And I really think that it's not even just like don't support Assassin's Creed. I think it is genuinely just support indie devs. I think that is the ticket to reviving the gaming industry and really propping up these people that are doing it not for, I mean, obviously everyone does something for profit, right? But largely they're very passionate about what they're doing. And I think that's very powerful. And that's what we need to focus on.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if people don't want to pay more for games, they got to be very vocal, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw the whole Borderlands 4 thing where they walked back the $80 price point.
Yep.
After the fan outlash or and backlash, and Randy Pitchford being really tone deaf, saying that real fans would way to buy.
Okay, first of all, it's Randy Pitchford. He's never been like a good person. Like he's always been tone deaf. He is probably one of the worst spokespeople you could have for your game. I feel really bad for those devs that have to deal with him. Supposedly he's a really good boss, but man, just take away his Twitter account, please. Take away any social media he has. Don't let him speak to the public.
But the public outcry got them to walk back the price point.
Good.
So I mean, I think that's a good first step.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. Like, please don't harass devs. Don't do any of that. But speak with your wallet. Obviously, if GTA comes out and it's $100, I'm not going to blame anyone for spending $100 on that game. I get it. Mario Kart being $90 though, I don't know if that's it. I don't think that's the buy there.
I mean it's case by case, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like
the GTA is going to be a genre and industry defining game.
Yep.
No matter what it is, good, bad, or ugly. It's kind of a must play.
It is such a mammoth that people that don't play games talk about it. I get people asking me about it because they know I'm a gamer, and they'll be like, "Hey, so how about that GTA? You gonna play it? Blah blah blah." Like people that don't play games are talking to me about it. So it is its own thing. It's it runs like cultures around it. Like it is a
Yeah,
whole thing.
it's in its whole own
Yeah.
stratosphere,
So
really.
so I
But
can't say I would blame anyone for spending the money on that, but like I think we need to be a little more stingy, and am even saying this to myself because there's some games that are like $100, and I'm like, whatever. I have nothing else to play right now. When I honestly should be like, I don't want to spend money on that. It's not worth it, and to just go on and do something else.
yeah, I don't know if you saw the Obsidian stuff about Outer Worlds 2,
Yeah,
where Microsoft basically confirmed the game was going to be $80, and the Obsidian devs went to Twitter and were like, he had nothing.
yeah, nothing to do with it.
They're
Yeah,
like, they're like, don't complain to us.
yeah,
Basically, it was like at Phil if you want to bitch about this,
good.
because we don't decide what the price point.
Yeah, it's never the devs that get control of this stuff. Like,
Yeah,
please don't harass them at all. Like, it's not their fault. They're just trying to, man. They're just working. They are the person on like the machine floor running the conveyor belts, making sure the thing you love gets
yeah,
built. They're not the person at the top that's like telling companies what to price things at or anything like that. They don't even control what they're building half the time. They're just doing the job.
and I mean, it's sad because I want to play the Outer Worlds too.
Yep.
And I want to support Obsidian because I think they're a good studio.
But it's not for
But
$80. Hell no.
I'm not going to pay $80 for
I
it.
wouldn't. I don't know.
You
Like
know,
the last game they came out with wasn't an $80 game. It wasn't a $60 game, to be honest. So
no, that game would have done a lot better if it had come out at $40.
$40 would have been fine. Perfectly okay.
Yeah, everybody would have been fine.
Yep. I think
Nobody
people
would have
just need
complained.
to start pricing accordingly. That's the first step, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that would be a really good way for smaller games like Outer Worlds 2 to be like a breakout success.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, this is $50.
Yeah,
This is a deal.
I think because of the falling morality, or the falling morality that we have, or that gamers in general have, with like some of the way the industry is doing, the best way to get back is to you got to build that name, you got to build that brand back up, right? You got to
Yeah.
drop $30-$40 games, prove people that you can do good, then drop your $60-$80-$100 game and be like, it's worth it because we're doing all of this but a lot more of it, and we've done X, Y, and Z to make it better.
Yeah, I mean, nobody would pay $100 for GTA 6 if there hadn't been GTA 5,
Yeah, for
Red
like
Dead 1 and 2,
yes, yeah,
Bully, all these games where what you're getting,
yeah,
and immediately they have such brand recognition. People know if they want it.
yeah,
We kind of talked about that with Marathon, where people don't know if it's going to be their kind of game.
yep, exactly.
Like GTA's audience knows that 6 is their game.
Yeah.
There's no question.
So yeah. Let's what else we got?
I mean, I think that's about it for the major video game stuff.
Okay.
Anything outside of the industry you've been really having a blast with?
Oh my God. Have I even had time between work kicking my ass and me trying to have a social life? I'm afraid that my triangle of things I can actually balance has fallen flat. I haven't really watched anything. No, you know what? I've been very social. So I've hung out with friends. We've gone to play pool. I have a pool table in my room, not my room, like not my apartment, but like in the apartment like rec room thing. And so we've been going down to play that a lot. That's really been it. I haven't done a whole lot of watching stuff.
God, are you even a gamer anymore?
I know,
You're
right?
being social?
Crazy. I don't know if you remember the old college meme of like you can there's a triangle essentially. You can get good grades, you can have a social life, you can get sleep, and there was one other thing. I don't remember what it was.
But you could only pick 2.
Oh, and you can play video games. I think that was the whole thing. And it's like you pick 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the times I gave up sleep. because I don't really sleep that much anyway. But lately I've given up sleep and entertainment stuff because I haven't been able to do a lot of that stuff. I've been gone. Like literally this morning I woke up to a message of someone asking me to go downstairs and hang out with them. So I got up, took a shower, went downstairs, came back up here and hopped onto this. And after this, I'm probably going to go back out again. So I don't have time to do much. And on top of that, I'm also doing like up training for my certifications for work stuff. And, I'm also working and, then, yeah. So,
Yeah, that real life shit always gets in the way.
bro, it's rough.
It is, man.
So, yeah, I've been a busy boy. How about you? What have you been doing?
About the same. I mean, me and an old group of friends started a new D&D
Yeah.
last month, and we're
Yeah.
doing that thing where 4 adults who all work full time struggle to find an hour each month for
Yeah.
each other.
Good luck.
So, yeah, it's that old battle.
Yep. I know it. That's why I quit playing D&D. It was such a
Yeah.
struggle to get people together.
Yeah, I mean it's harder than any of the combat.
Yeah, and for me, because as you can tell, I don't have a lot of time. And for me, if we were able to get everybody together and it didn't go well or it like wasn't fun, I was like, well, I've wasted time now. Like it hit me so hard that I was just like, I would rather spend this out. I would rather hang out with you guys in other ways where I don't feel like I'm wasting an hour, or like 3 hours, really. Most of them go 3 to 6 hours. So, I don't know. It's just,
that's why I don't play as many games as I used to, because I just don't try things that I'm not sure I'm gonna like.
That's fair. I do,
You
but
know?
like
You just never get the time.
I'm usually playing with friends. So
Yeah.
um
So
oh yeah, like one of the games I played was called The Altars. I don't know if you've played it.
I've seen a video on it. Haven't played it.
That's your homework. I want you to play The Altars. I think it is right up
Okay.
your alley. I think you will love it. I want to talk to you about it next time. It's on
Okay.
Game Pass. You can download it. It's free. That's how I played it. Works perfectly fine. It's an Unreal 5 game, so there was like 1 or 2 crashes I had, but otherwise it ran fine. It is about this guy that is on a space mission. He gets stranded on that mission, and without giving too much of the plot away, he is the only surviving person, but the base has to be ran by multiple people. And so he doesn't clone himself per se. He pulls out a version of himself from a different universe, like a different reality, like from like a point in his life. And the crux of the game is you can look at his lifeline essentially and see all the choices he made in life. And he did this and he became like whatever he is now, right? But if he made this other choice, his life went this different route and he became like a doctor. And then you can pull that person out of that timeline and suddenly you have a doctor on board that can like heal people and stuff,
Oh, that's super interesting.
And
Yeah.
so
Okay.
did you ever play Fallout Shelter?
Yeah.
It's Fallout Shelter, but like with its third person exploration stuff. There is like a Persona-esque time mechanic to it where you have so much time in the day. You can have like your different people building stuff and doing things. But the shelter itself is 100% Fallout Shelter. There's like things you have to upkeep. There's different rooms you have to build. You have to go out into the world and get resources. It's like a kind of a mini resource game on top of having a fantastic story. I don't know why I forgot to mention it in what I was playing. I think we just moved on, but highly, highly recommend that game. It surprised me in a way that I did not expect. I thought I'm just going to play this fun little game, but it hit hard, like really, really hard.
I will definitely check it out.
I think if anyone is at a point in their life where they're looking at things and they're like, man, I wish I would have done X differently, or I wish things could have gone differently, that it has a message that I think will resonate. And that's just basically anyone that's like in their, late 20s, early 30s, right? I think that'll hit hard. I think it's a game that people need to play. So, yeah, Try it out. It's great. That's the only other thing that I've been doing. So
Well, very cool. I'm out of topics this
all
month.
right.
So
Well, thank you for joining us again, Todd. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the people that have hung out with us so far. I'll probably be back Wednesday for our thing. And I think next time we have, let me see, when is our, looks like July 20th is our next little thingy thing that we're going to do for this. So
sounds awesome. Maybe we'll have some better news.
I hope so. I think that's the time Grounded 2 drops around about that time. So maybe I'll play that and I'll tell you how much I hate spiders again. Yeah.
Always a good time.
Yeah. So again, thank you all for hanging out. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you and we'll talk to you later. Bye.